Okay, so I can now see the card name. It's got good light. I can see the bottom corner set symbol, or not set symbol. I can see the set symbol in that preview, but in this preview I can see the corner of the card name, or set name, sorry. Jeez, I can't even talk. The set in abbreviation and the card number, sorry. I don't know if revised is the best set to test with, but I'm gonna pop that out. I'm gonna try a different card. Here we go. Magic sorter the end. All blurry. Okay, there we go. I mean, we can try different set. Let's do that. I'll make sure there's no art cards and such in it. So let me stop the video and get everything all set up. So I think I got the hang of it here a little bit. I noticed that this is not grabbing the correct information off the corner here, but then again, this age of card didn't have it, so I'm not really worried. But it is, notice in the set symbol, it is reading the name now, and I'll show you what I had to do. I mean, it's not clearly reading the name here, so I gotta make some slight modifications. And I notice the card piles are crooked, and I do notice it's still kind of grabbing a part of the top here. So I've got to figure out what setting that is to shrink that down. But what I really wanted to show you is the functionality here and what I had to do to make this work so far. So I think part of this thing's problem was, I was trying to sort alphabetically, which is probably a little too much for it at the moment based on its current condition. So I backed off and did something far simpler, which is just do it by set. But the other thing I did here is I noticed that the top of the card name here is just completely blown out. There's just too much light, so we can't see that. So that's probably what's affecting it to organize alphabetically. Why it keeps coming up card not found. So I'm gonna design something like a light deflector, basically, that knocks that light out in that area. And this is what I've done so far. I took 2 card guards, taped them together, and it appears to be working. I'll show you here in a little minute. Now that's out of the way, it's not gonna hit the arm, it's not gonna hit the robot moving around. But as you can tell, that's just overpoweringly LED light, just staring straight down on that card, and it's producing like a sheen or a glossy reflection back off that card. I mean, you can see it. It's just so bright. So I'm deflecting the light and blocking it a bit, and I've took a little piece of bubble mailer here and just kind of cut a strip and tied it onto the back of the bar for a minute. Now what I'm going to do later is when I come back from work is I'm going to create an angled piece right in here that'll cause that deflector to turn more this way. Sorry. And then I'm going to take and drill 2 small holes at the top of that deflector and at the bottom, at the top and the bottom, top and the bottom here. And I'm going to zip tie that to that bar temporarily, just so I can see if that is part of the problem. And I think it is, because clearly it's working. This is the most amount of work I've gotten out of this machine since I picked it up. So if I can create a light deflector that zip ties to that, and now the LED won't get too hot, and I will probably find some different material that, you know, doesn't have a potential to melt. Oh, I'm getting a call. Let me cut the video off. Alright, so I have a slight setback I was getting all these cards loaded and I wasn't really thinking about it. And I loaded a lot of cards in this stack, this one, this one, this one. And when I was getting ready to jump in the shower and just test the robot while I was in the shower, I noticed that it came over here and tried to start scanning the first one and malfunctioned. And the reason being was I had the stacks too high. These are only supposed to be up to 250 cards. So I broke the stopper right here. You can see where, oops, it's not focusing. You can see where the two prongs are actually now detached. So I will be getting my soldering iron from work tonight and bring it to the hotel and patch that up. I will be replacing this. It's just right now, for field purposes, I need it to still stop. So I'll just patch that up tonight when I get back, and hopefully it will finish, because right now when it comes up, it just smashes this, as you can see, just smashes that right off the circuit board here. So I will fix it before it finishes tearing off here. I mean, the one thing I don't like about it is, if you're gonna have something like that as a stop position, you would almost want it to be secured a little bit more. So I don't know if these are holes all the way through here, and if so, I don't know if that's something that you could drill through the circuit board card, or if that would ruin it, because I do see some circuitry behind here. But if you could put a small hole and put like one set screw to kind of hold that, even over here on like this one, if there's a way to do that without destroying the card or the circuit with like a really fine bit and thread it, you could probably do that on each of these, and that would really stiffen that up so that those can't get just sheared off by the action of the robot arm or whatnot. But again, what did it was the height of the stack over here. I had them all wrong, so I still don't know if this is 250 cards or whatnot, but from now on I will be counting them before I put them in there. And I'm thinking eventually what I'll do is, I don't have a 3D printer, but I'll probably reach out to somebody in the community who does and see if you can make a preloading tray, or maybe like a little cup sort of thing where you load the cards in and it will only host 250 cards in it, because if anything overflow, it would, you know, just fly off the top. But basically I would want it to where the corner is supported, and they're round on the inside on all four corners, and then over here on the sides you would have a groove cut out all the way down to the bottom card, so you could take your fingers and pull the cards out and then just load them and load them. But you just keep using that tool as a preload tool to load your cards in, get 250, and then put it over here. That way you don't have to count them every single time. That would be super annoying. Or maybe an advancement from that would be, instead of having one, you could have this whole tray be swapped out with the same thing, where you have the corners, and the groove on the side, but it's actually for 6 instead of 1. Or maybe you can do both. Anyway, I'm gonna reach out to somebody out there will know how to do that. And anyway, so when I get back tonight, I'm gonna take some of these out here, because I'd rather be under the threshold than over it, because I don't want to shear that off again. So that's probably less than 250. So I did get it working, but then I broke it. But that was my own fault, not a design flaw. So I love it. God, I'm so close. I was really hoping to be able to just run this, and when I come back home from work, I would have it all sorted. So it's kind of aggravating. I should have been paying attention. I mean, I've read over the notes numerous times, but it's still new to me, so it's a little difficult to latch on to all the information you need to know. And it's only been 10 days, I think I've owned this. And then when I get back tonight, I'll actually fix this up a little bit too. And then I'll solder that. Anyway, thanks for watching.